this talk and start by sharing my screen with you. So let's go over here, and I hope you can all see this screen. Actually, this is just for the event today. And we're going to switch over and start looking at some hands. And the topic today is on choosing the master hand. And the master hand refers to a concept in declarer play when you're playing in a suit contract, and it's normal to plan to ruff to gain extra tricks, but to also draw trumps. And basically, the concept of the master hand means that you draw trumps with the master hand, with the trumps in the master hand, and you may use trumps in the other hand to gain extra tricks by ruffing. And sometimes there's a decision to be made about which hand to make the master hand. So let's have a look at some examples of this. And I want to start off by looking at a bidding problem on this one, where you North opened up one diamond, you bid a spade, and North jumped to 3 spades. So I just actually wanted to look at just the south hand to start with. And what do you make of that jump to 3 spades? What does it show? Do unmute yourself if you'd like to volunteer something.
It shows you got a lot of spades, first of all.
Well, obviously it shows that North can support your spades. They have at least 4 spades.
It's invitational?
And it's a jump bid, yeah. If they had bid just 2 spades, that would be a minimum for opener, say 12 to 15. But they've jumped to show more like 16 to 18.
Tony, one question.
Yeah.
Should the South have jumped with 8, 9, 10, 11, 15 points?
South has almost enough points to jump there. A jump would show generally more than 16 points and your own very good 5-card suit. But this hand is not quite good enough for that. And in fact, you don't really want to jump on this hand because you're not certain where you want to end up here. So I would just bid 1 spade. That shows 6 to 16 points and at least 4
Tony,
spades.
Quick question. How many losing tricks does that 3-spade jump assume?
Very good. Yeah, you can look at this using the losing trick count, can't you? Now remember, an opener, a minimum for opener would be a 7 loser hand, but here they've jumped, so I think they should be showing a 6 loser hand. Okay? So if you want to use the losing trick count, which is a great idea on here, once we've found a trump fit, how many losers do we have in the south hand?
I thought it was 6.
1,
It is 6,
3,
but North has also got 6 losers.
5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 losers in the South hand.
In the south hand, we have 2 spade losers, 3 heart losers, and 1 diamond loser.
6.
We have a 6 loser hand also.
Okay.
So North has indicated that by their jump that they should have a 6 loser hand. We also have a 6 loser hand. If you take those 12 losers away from 18, that would suggest that maybe you can be in a slam on this hand. Maybe you can make 12 tricks here.
6 spades.
Okay. What's your concern on this hand?
Hearts.
We're worried about hearts more than anything, aren't we? Because we've got lots of losers here. So although you could bid 6 no trump, this is a good hand that might be suitable for what?
Couldn't they splintered? North.
Well, we haven't. I'm not showing you the North hand at the moment. We'll look at that later. But yes, but what were you going to bid with the South hand here?
Q-bid.
Yeah, Q-bid. What are you going to Q-bid?
Diamond?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter what you Q-bid. It's normal to Q-bid your cheapest control, which is clubs.
Yeah.
And if you do, that you're saying, I'm interested in a slam. I've got first round control in clubs, and I'm looking to see if you can cue-bid anything. Now, suppose your partner bids 4 hearts. That's good news for you, isn't it? Because as far as you're concerned, they're showing first round control in hearts, okay? And maybe now you would go on to 4 no trump, asking for key cards or aces. And suppose your partner bids 5 clubs. What does that show?
None.
One
None.
or none.
So what have they got in no? Clubs
Is
shows
it not?
none.
None
Club
at
shows
all.
None. Or
None,
if you were using Roman key card Blackwood, it could be 3 key cards, but it can't be 3 because you've got 3 key cards, and your partner
Yes.
cannot have 3. So it's none. So what have they got? Why did they bid 4
Void.
hearts?
None.
They're void, yes. If you saw the hand earlier when I was still on the screen, it was actually void. So
Okay.
that void in hearts is actually not bad for you. And I think you should go on to 6 spades here, okay? You're missing an ace. You're missing the ace of spades, but hopefully that's only 1 trick. So these hands, these first 3 hands actually, were all hands that were played when we were still playing live. And on all of them, only 1 person made 12 tricks. So you can make 12 tricks on this hand and on the next couple of hands we're looking at, but only 1 person managed it. And on this hand, before you make a plan, you really want to look at this hand from both hands' point of view. In other words, if you look at it as we're used to, from looking at it from the South's point of view, we've got 1 ace of spades is missing, and we've got all these hearts, which maybe you're thinking you can ruff those, okay? You'd have to ruff 4 times to get rid of those if you want to get rid of them by ruffing. But if you switch your focus and look at this hand from the North hand's point of view, I think it's much, much, much easier to make a plan here. Because if you look at the North hand as the master hand, but take into account all the strength in the South hand, we can see that we're only going to lose the ace of spades, and then all these minor suits are all good. We're not going to lose any diamonds, we're not going to lose any clubs. Our only loser is the ace of spades. And so if you look at it from that hand's point of view, I think it's much easier to plan on this hand. Okay. Any questions on that? By the way, John asked me earlier, in terms of the bidding, when it went 1 diamond, 1 spade, couldn't North have splintered with this hand? The splinter bid would be to show a singleton or void in hearts, so bid 4 hearts. And the answer is they're a little bit weak for that, because your 1 spade bid only promised 6 points. To splinter, which would be indicative that you've got enough for game, would be showing something closer to 19 points or 17, something like that. So perhaps not quite good enough for a splinter bid there, but enough for a show medium hands, equivalent of 6 losers by 3 spades. Anyway, let's have a look at this. They lead the King of Hearts, and I hope you can see that this is much easier if we plan it from the North hand point of view. Let's see how it goes. Let's ruff that first one, of course. And who'd like to suggest what should we do next?
Get the
The
trumps.
diamonds
Draw
or
trumps.
diamond.
Draw
trumps.
Yes, draw
No.
trumps. Draw
Really?
trumps, definitely. Why not? I mean, if you want, you can risk your contract by playing some diamonds and playing some clubs, but it's absolutely not necessary. It doesn't help you in the slightest, okay? All it does is it puts you at risk of getting ruffed. We're going to draw trumps on this hand, okay? Force out the ace, and then the rest of the North hand is good, okay?
Okay.
So that's what we're going to do. Now, we have to count the trumps here. So we started off here, we've ruffed 1 there, and we got 5 in the South hand. So we started off with 9 trumps. The opponents started off with 4. And I suggest if you want help counting your trumps, that you sort of do it on your fingers as the trumps go. So I'm going to start by drawing trumps, leading a trump. Everyone follows. 2 have gone from the defense. So there are now just 2 trumps left. Okay, I'm counting them on my finger. Okay, let's play another round. And this time, West discards. So that's 1 trump gone, but there's still 1 left. And which one is it?
The ace.
The ace.
It's the ace. And can you see, normally when there's 1 high trump out, it's very desirable to leave it out, don't draw it. And that's absolutely the case here, isn't it? Because if we were to make the dreadful mistake of playing another trump, they'd win the ace, and then of course they could cash hearts. We'd be out of trumps. So all you have to do to make this now is just leave that last high trump out and go about your other business, okay? So in fact, if I bring up,
Instead of playing jack from south, why could you not play a smaller trump, so then you could go back to your to north?
It doesn't matter, does it? I mean,
Doesn't matter,
we've got all the high trumps. We've got the jack 10, 9, 8, 7. They're all equal there. So it didn't matter what you played there. But you must not play another trump now. In fact, if I click on the GIB button, it will show you that if you make the mistake of playing a trump, you'll go down 3 tricks. Whereas if you play anything else, you'll make your contract. And that's all we're going to do. We're going to just play our other tricks now, and we don't care when it gets rough. It's going to get roughed at some point. Sometime they're going to play their ace of spades. Okay, but whenever they do, there it goes. Whenever they do, we've still got a trump to prevent them taking any heart tricks. So if they try to take a heart, we'll rough it, and then we'll claim the rest of the tricks. Okay? So, as I said, when this was played, only 1 person managed 12 tricks on this hand, and the same is true of a couple of the other ones coming up. So let's have a look.
Did anyone actually bid a slam on that?
I think 1 person did, and they went down like 2 or 3 tricks. It was quite sad.
Because I think that unless you'd been teaching losing trick count, I thought the 3 spade bid by North was pretty bold bid.
Yes, well, it is only I think 11 points in high cards, but so if you're not otherwise, I think you might just treat it as a minimum and just bid 2 spades, and you might not reach slam there. But it certainly helps on this hand. It certainly vindicates the losing trick count on this hand.
Yeah, it certainly does.
Let's have a look at another one here. And again, let's just look at it from the south hand to start with. You open a club. There's a 1 diamond overcall. Your partner doubles. Now, if you remember, that's a negative double. Should be showing the 2 unbid suits here, which is in this case both majors. So once your partner doubles, you know you've got to fit in hearts. East bids 3 diamonds, and you've got to decide what to bid here. You're only 14 points, but again, with a fit in hearts, you might count your losers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, it's 6. A 6 loser hand, so it's a little more than a minimum. And let's suppose you bid 3 hearts. I'm really tempted to bid 3 hearts there anyway, because otherwise my partner won't know I've got heart support. Anyway, I bid 3 hearts, my partner goes to 4 hearts, and that ends the auction. And let's suppose they lead a diamond, the ace of diamonds. And we can see that there's some shortness in both hands here. We're short in spades here, whereas they're short, dummy is short in diamonds. So there's a possibility of roughing. We've got quite reasonable trumps in both hands. And so this is a hand where, again, we're going to think about drawing trumps and but maybe roughing in one hand to make some extra tricks. What we can't really do on this hand is cross-ruff the hand completely, because in addition to the hearts, we've got all these clubs we want to make. We want to make 5 clubs. And so we do have to draw trumps or we won't be able to make those. And the decision here is whether you want to make south the master hand, in which case you might if you look at the losers in the south hand, but taking into account the strength in dummy, our only losers, I think, are, well, unless we lose a trump, our only losers are going to be these diamonds here. And we can ruff 2 of those. If we can ruff 2 of those, we can make 2 extra tricks. Or you might be thinking about looking at it from the point of view of the north hand, in which case we've got these spades, which maybe we can ruff in our hand there. And you can look at this either way. And what I suggest you do is try and work out which looks the simplest course. And to me, it looks like ruffing the 2 diamonds in dummy is going to be the best option here. Now, when you're planning this, you know I'm always saying to count your losers. It's often helpful to count your winners as well. And let's just do it on this hand. Let's count our winners. We've got 1 spade. We hope to make 4 hearts. We don't have any diamonds, but we've got 5 clubs. Do you agree with that? 5,
Yeah.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it looks like our contract should lead to at least 10 tricks. And what I'm going to do is try and make the most tricks possible. And can you see that by ruffing 2 diamonds, in addition to all that, I'm hoping to make another 2 tricks. I'm hoping to make 12 tricks, which again, as I said when this was played, only 1 person managed it. This time I don't really think you can, it's very hard to get to a slam. You should still try to make the most tricks possible. Okay? So let's see if we can do it. That's our plan. Remember, we're going to plan to ruff 2 diamonds in dummy. And because we want to ruff twice, we can't really afford to draw trumps. Trumps will take at least 3 rounds to draw, and we'd only have 1 trump left. So to maximize this hand, we plan to delay drawing trumps until we've roughed those 2 diamonds. So they've started off with a diamond, which is sort of all to our advantage in a way, because that's the suit we're going to want to play. Now, when they see dummy, they may well decide to switch to another suit, and they might well decide to play a trump, because they may well reason that I have some diamonds I want to ruff. So suppose they play a trump, which I win. I'm winning it in the south hand here, so that I can lead another diamond and planning to ruff this. And here, because both west and east bid diamonds, I know neither of them is short in diamonds, and I won't have any difficulty ruffing the diamond. So I'll ruff that one with a 9. Perfect. Now what?
Play club.
Then
Well, you want to get back to your hand.
Spade.
Yeah, I think a spade is the best way, don't you? That's
Spade.
completely safe, isn't it? Let's come back here and let's play another diamond, and we're going to ruff that one with a 9. That's it. That's all we needed to do. We've ruffed those 2 diamonds. Now what we want to do is draw trumps. Yeah, draw trumps. So let's play the queen now. And if everyone follows, that's 8 trump have been drawn. There's one more trump out, and we just need to draw it before we draw clubs. We just need to get back to our hand. You could try either with a club or with a spade even. Now, I've been saying when our goal is not really to ruff spades, but we're just ruffing spades is a very safe way back to our hand, because now we know there's just 1 trump out, and I can draw it, and then all my clubs are good. I'll start with the ace king, and I'll make my 12 tricks there. Okay, so that was one. I think it's a lot easier just to ruff 2 diamonds there than to think about trying to ruff the spades on this hand. Any comments?
Annie,
Yep.
could we just go back to that first hand just for a quick second?
Yeah.
Did the hand, which hand overcalled the spades?
No one.
South. Oh, yeah, because
There
I was
was no
looking
overcall
at
there.
all thinking they'd overcalled with 4, but that's fine. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay, let's have a look at another one. Here we open one no trump. It's a balanced hand. The partner bids 2 clubs. It's normal, that Stayman, it's normal with both majors to bid the hearts. Most people bid the hearts, 2 hearts. Your partner then goes to 3 no trump. And although you might think about leaving him there, you should probably bid 4 spades. Your partner's bid 2 clubs, Stayman, but when you bid hearts didn't support you. So if you trust your partner's bidding, they should have 4 spades. And with an 8 card fit in a major, you're generally better off than playing it in 3 no trump. So that ends the auction. The opponents lead the king of diamonds. And again, we're going to stop to make a plan here. And this is again a hand where you've got equal trump length. You've got 4 spades in each hand. And you could just try to make your contract, but there's a possibility of doing some roughing here, isn't there? And the 2 options that I can see is, if I look at the diamond suit, I might be able to rough 2 diamonds in this hand, or I could look at the club suit and I might be able to rough a club in dummy. Let's also count our winners on this hand, which will help us sort of work out how many tricks we can make. So we've got 4 spades. How many hearts have you got?
4.
4 again, yeah. You've got
Okay.
just 1 diamond
10.
and 1 club.
Yeah.
So you've got 8, 9, 10. You've got 10 top tricks. You should always make your your contract here making 10 tricks, but we want to make 2 more. How can we make 2 more if we can?
By roughing.
Roughing what?
Diamonds.
Yeah, roughing diamonds is going
Diamonds,
to be
yeah.
better than roughing clubs, because we can only rough 1 club.
1 club,
Okay?
yeah.
So we hope to make 12 tricks here by roughing 2 diamonds. Okay, that's going to be our plan on this hand. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Now, they led a diamond, and sometimes in this situation, you might actually let them win the first one, because if they then carry on in diamonds, it sort of puts you in the right hand to start roughing straight away. They may or may not do that. Let's suppose they do carry on with diamonds, and you take the next trick with the ace. The only slight disadvantage is if the diamonds broke really badly, they might rough your ace, but that's a very small risk really on this hand. So that's what we're going to do. We're in dummy with the ace of diamonds, and again, before we draw trumps, because we want to rough twice, we're going to start by roughing the diamonds. And the other thing to think about on this hand is what we're going to rough with. We've actually got pretty good trumps in both hands. We've got ace, king, queen, jack, 10. So we should be able to rough with high trumps if we need to, and still draw the opponent. So what we're going to do before we draw trumps here, let's play a diamond. And on this hand, let's suppose east roughs, okay? So that's a bit of a surprise, but it's good in the sense that now we know that all the missing diamonds are in the west hand, so we're not going to suffer any over roughs. Let's just rough low there. What do we want to do now?
Trumps out.
Get
Draw
we
trump.
need,
Well, we still want to rough 1 diamond, and we also want to draw trump. So we can do it in a variety of different ways. One thing we could do is get over to the ace of hearts, so we can now play our last diamond, and we're now going to rough it in the south hand. Now, as you know, in fact, the ace, king, 10, because you've got the queen and jack, are all equivalent high cards here.
Yeah.
So you may find your life slightly easier if you rough with the ace or king. If you rough with the 10, then you may find it slightly hard to get to the north hand. So let's just rough high. They're all high cards. And now we've done that, now all we want to do is draw trumps. So let's start with the ace, winning the shorthand there. Play another one over to our hand. And if everyone follows, that's actually all the trumps got, because if you remember, East ruffed earlier. If there was still a trump out, we will draw it with the queen. But if you remember, there are no more trumps out, so now we can just take our remaining tricks. We'll start with the Jack of Hearts, winning in the shorthand. Then we can cross over to the good hearts there. And of course, we discard the club on that hand. Okay. And we'll make our 12 tricks on that one. Okay. Any comments on that?
Tony, just one question.
Yeah.
When they say stamen, and if you've got 4 hearts and 4 spades, do you always bid hearts?
Well, opinions differ. Some people like to bid their stronger 4-card suit, but it's considered more standard to bid the hearts. Okay? Always bid the hearts. All right.
Thank you.
Okay, and let's look at the last one. This was the one actually I sent out in email, I think. So let me just bring that up. I don't know how many of you had a look at it. Just wait for it to come up.
I couldn't make
it. Okay, so this was the hand I sent out. And I'll just talk about the bidding. It was similar to an earlier hand we looked at, where this time it went 1 heart, 1 spade, 3 spades. Again, that is showing a medium hand with about 6 losers. And if you count your losers in the south hand, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 losers also. So you might well be thinking about a slam here. Here, there's no real suit that you're that worried about, so I would go straight to 4 no trump. And here, if you play 4 no trump as Roman key card Blackwood, which I do recommend, your partner responds 5 spades. And 5 spades means that your partner's got 2 aces and, 2 key cards. In fact, you know they're 2 aces because you're just missing 2. And the queen of spades. So I think you'd pretty confidently bid 6 spades here. I wouldn't go for 7 unless you really can count 13 tricks. So I'll just bid 6 spades, and let's have a look at this hand. So my partner's got a nice hand there, and again, this hand all focuses on whether you want to make one hand the master hand and ruff in the other, and which one should you choose. And again, I think you'll find it easiest if you actually stop to count your winners. And let's try and do that here. So how many spade tricks have we got?
4.
4. We've got 2 hearts. Okay. We've got 1 diamond.
7.
And how many clubs have we got?
4.
4.
So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 11 tricks, isn't it?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11 tricks. Yeah, count it a couple of times. So we have 11 tricks here. To make our contract, we need 1 more. But of course, we always want to try and make more than that if possible. And there are 2 possibilities here that I can see. We can plan to ruff some diamonds in dummy. Can you see we can try and do that?
Yeah.
Or we can try and ruff some hearts in our own hand. Now, which should we do?
Hearts is easier.
Heart is easy.
Hearts.
The problem with trying to ruff diamonds is even if you can do it, you're going to lose a diamond.
Yeah.
Whereas you can ruff hearts without losing any hearts.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's what I'm going to do. My plan on this hand is to plan to ruff. If I can ruff 2 hearts, that brings my trick count to 13 tricks. With 11 top tricks, and if I can make 2 more, I can make 13. And again, I've got pretty good trumps in both hands. I've got the ace, king, jack, 10, 9. So I'm not too worried about over-ruffs. I should be able to ruff reasonably high. So that's what I'm going to do on this hand. Try and make 13 tricks, and it's just done by ruffing the hearts. So I'll win this one. And again, because I want to ruff twice, I don't really want to draw trumps, because drawing trumps will take at least 3 rounds, and I won't have enough trumps. So I'm going to start off by ruffing heart. And I know some people on this hand, they want to cash the king before they ruff, but that's really not necessary in this hand. That really doesn't help you. It just puts you at more risk of a ruff. Just lead a low heart here and ruff that one, okay? We'll ruff with the 7, let's say, okay? Great. We still have one more heart to ruff, so what we want to do is get back to the north hand. You can actually, because there's only one more ruff to be done here, you can actually afford to draw some trumps here. Okay, you can play a spade here, play another spade over to dummy hand, because we know we only want to ruff one more time, and we're going to ruff high anyway with the jack. So let's do that. Okay, and we've done it now, because we've ruffed the 2 hearts. We've actually drawn a couple of rounds of trumps already. So now all we need to do is get back to the north hand to draw the last trump. How can we get back to the north hand?
Clubs.
Club looks safe.
Clubs, yeah,
Club.
clubs. Yeah.
Club. Now we just draw that last trump, okay, and now we've done it. We can the clubs are good. Okay, let's cash the clubs. We can throw away our diamond loser there, and we play our last diamond. We ruff a diamond, and we've got the king of hearts. So that's how you can make 13 tricks there. I hope you can see that if you tried instead to ruff diamonds, you would always lose a trick. Okay, you can't do that. So very often with these hands, where there's a possibility of playing it either way, you should give that some thought. Drawing trump, which hand you want to ruff with, and generally speaking, you really want to ruff in one hand and use your other hand as much as possible to draw the opponent's trumps. And especially when you've got an even number, an equal number, 4 and 4, it sometimes needs a bit of thought. Okay.
You can only do it if you have all the high trumps, though.
Well,
pretty much.
Up to a point. I mean, if for example we didn't have such good trumps in the south hand, suppose we just had the king and some low trumps there, we might still be okay. But we would have to, we'd have to ruff maybe with low trumps there. But as it is, we've got pretty high trumps, and the only ruff that was in any danger was the very first ruff, where we ruffed with a 7. But after that, we can ruff with high trumps.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's it. That was the topic for today. So do look out for some of those hands. Any questions before we end the talk?
I don't want to be pedantic, Tony, but I think this is a hand where you could safely have asked for kings.
Okay.
Even though you might still bail out at 6 spades, but because you've got a fit in spades, you're not committing yourself to 7 by going 5 no trump. Yes.
Well, I suppose so. I was reading some column by Andrew Robson where he talks about bidding grand slams.
Yeah,
and I think he starts off by saying don't. So I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but I would say don't bid a grand slam unless you can really count 13 tricks. And even if could you count 13 tricks?
No. If you went 5 no trumps asking for kings, they'd have gone 6 hearts, and then you can still bail out at 6 spades.
You could. Yeah, I mean,
if they'd got all 3 kings, they'd have bid 6 spades, and then I think you might have risked 7 spades.
Yeah, I mean, if North had the king of diamonds, could you be confident of not losing any tricks? I don't know.
I think you probably could.
What if they had the king 7-5 of diamonds? I'm not sure.
Yeah, because you know that you've got at least one discard in hearts.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's true. Okay. Still, even then. All right. Well, you go. By all means, I mean, try and do that. I wouldn't. You know, the kinds of hands I like to bid a grand slam on is where I've got a long suit and I think I can count 13 tricks. But if you can see 13 tricks, then by all means do it. Yeah.
On this layout, you can't. But I reckon if the north hand's got the king of diamonds, you can.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. And of course, it does help that you know that your partner's got the queen of spades as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Tony.
Anyway, thank you all very much, and good luck, and we'll see you online in a little bit. There's still someone on the partnership desk, so if anyone needs a partner, do go and join them there. I'll see you later.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye, everyone.